You're watching Vault Business Podcast. Today, I have a wonderful business owner. He is the owner of Corsaro's Family Pizza. So Corsaro's Family Pizza has been a pizza place in Chowchilla for many, many years. But today, we have the owner, and his name is D, but he's going to give us his full name because I didn't even know his full name until today. So go ahead, D, give us your full name.
My name is Moody. I go by D. Or some people actually sometimes used to refer to me as my last name for Play Sports.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you guys heard it here first. Like, I didn't even know his full name. Like, I've always known you by D.
Many people don't know it. Like, they always say, how do you say it?
Yeah.
It? So when I was in school, that was one of the biggest challenges I had.
Okay.
Everybody butchered my name. Butcher. I was like, just call me D.
Just call me D.
Or call me by my last name.
Yeah.
But as now, it's coming to, and I kid you not, even like I was telling you about what I was doing with the kids today, they call me D the Pizza Man.
Oh, okay, D the Pizza Man. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So D, you own a pizza place in Chowchilla, but you bought this pizza place from a mentor of mine, Dennis Corsaro. So I don't know if you knew this, and I think we talked about it a little bit earlier. So I worked at Corsaro's Family Pizza when I was in high school, and when I actually started my college career there in Merced. I worked with Dennis Corsaro, wonderful mentor of mine. He's been a staple of Chowchilla community for many, many years. And this pizza place has actually been, part of the Chowchilla culture for so many years, Corsaro's Family Pizza. How did you meet Dennis, or how did this come about, man?
It's funny you say that. So, when we first started the business, how I met Dennis is when we first started the business. It was brought to me. The opportunity was brought to me.
Okay.
A partner of mine, and it took me some time. It's funny because we talked about it earlier. I was sitting there thinking, like, should I do it or not? I just had got out of the restaurant industry, and I was working on the software side of things, on internet things as well, and I still have that now. I was unsure of me wanting to get back into it.
Gotcha.
So when the opportunity was brought to me, it took me like a few weeks.
Okay.
A few weeks to decide if I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to do it, and then I was like, okay, let's do it. The situation lined up really well. Our partner's really great at the structure of things, and then when it comes to the pizza and the business side, that's where we come to play.
Nice.
And then the books is always taken care of by another friend of mine, a good partner of mine as well. But when it comes to the pizza side, that comes in and came to play, and then that's how I started to get in a relationship with Dennis.
Okay.
So before I bought the business, I did 90 days straight.
Okay.
9 to 11 at night, and I'm not exaggerating. Some people tell you that, but no, it was 9 in the morning, 11 at night. Doing the whole due diligence part. As you know, when you look at buying a business, you want to do the diligence part. And then that's where me and Dennis started to develop a relationship. Really good guy. Good guy. And I didn't even know you. Yeah, I never knew you actually worked for him.
Yeah, no, Dennis has always been a great guy. He was, like I said, he was a mentor of mine, and there were times that we would actually go deliver pizzas, and he would share a lot of great information. I think that, part of the reason that I'm in business is because the people that came before me, and Dennis was one of those people that came before me and showed me the ropes of, hey, you can be a business owner. So this is great. Like, now you actually buying this business, of course, you can buy a business that you establish yourself, or you can buy an existing business. What was your take on buying an existing business? Is it something that you say it was good for you, or how do you view that, man?
So that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So many people don't, in our town specifically, and one thing, let's just retract. I'm glad you said that. It depends on where you are. So Chowchilla specifically is a great family community town. Okay. So that's one thing I had to learn from just moving there and things like that, and just starting to get to know the community. So when I took over the consistency business, it's a great, as you know, like you said, it's years on year. It's older than me.
Right.
So the cool thing about it, my job was to only keep things the same and just elevate it. And that's how I looked at it as. If I just continue to serve the community as it already did, then there will be no change.
You know what? And I think that you came at a good time because we met at the pizza place, and it was the first time that we met. And we'll tell this story right now. I walked into the pizza place, and I didn't know that you actually owned the pizza place. You were so welcoming to the pizza place, and us, my family coming in there. And I remember sitting down and telling my wife, do we know him? And you had the right mentality to be a business owner. And I told my wife, I said, I'm really, really impressed with him. Like, he, welcomed us to the pizza place, and the pizza place is the same but just like you said, elevated, like at another tier of business. And I was just thinking to myself, this guy is gonna do phenomenal in this town. You know, we walked away and we thought to ourselves, man, the pizza's always been great, but now having D there is gonna just take it to another level, man.
Yeah, I appreciate the compliment.
Another level.
Not to cut you off, but I think it's funny you say that, because when you talk about elevate, I think as I was go back, one of my mentors always tell me, when you're in a business, it's really not about you. It's not about you and I, you guys as well. Right. It's not about us at all. It's about the customer. It's not about the team. It's not about the owner. It's about the customer.
Yes.
You know, and that's one thing that I learned, is have a serving attitude.
Yes.
Serving attitude, and then just have a welcome, warming, like it's your home in some form of fashion.
Right. Now, you've done wonderful things, because you guys used to be at a different location. You guys moved, and you guys incorporated a lot of the city of Chowchilla into your design. How did that come into play, man?
So when we moved, that was the idea. When we got it, that was the initial idea. It's one of the biggest things that we've seen, and it was the lack of just kind of what you can do more in the community. Or aspect, like, it's a small town, as you know. There's no big arcade until we came and brought that apart.
Right.
But the first thing we wanted to do was, I wanted to keep the community involved, because if you don't take care of this community, and Pacific wise, you're not going to do really well. I'm gonna just be frank. So the first thing I had to do was learn the community. I know the history. I know where they had the big old overpass, and all things like that. How it got burnt down. But when we did it, my partner had a really good vision. And then we just added another flavor on it, and we continue to grow it. And then we had the decorations part come in as well. And we just make sure it stayed the same. The biggest thing I had to make sure, though, is the food stayed the same. Yeah. And I had to bring it to modern times. I love the Corsaro. I thought it was really credible. You can have a whole bunch of parties in there, but it was not enough room.
Right.
And there was a lot of games, and that arcade was pretty cool, but there was not enough.
Right.
I felt like.
No, absolutely.
So then we, little by little, we chipped away at it. Little by little, we chipped away at it. We did the designs. We did the whole layout. It was a whole concept thing, to where we thought it out. The way the dining room is, from the lobby, from the game room, everything's specifically designed.
So there is a science to business.
There's a science to business. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a science to this whole thing. And this is the part of business that I love, because you get to put your own heart and soul into the science.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, it is a business, but you're actually putting yourself in the community, in the forefront of it, for you to be successful. Yeah. And I start seeing your pizza place, and I think to myself, this pizza place will continue the name for years to come, because of the stuff that D is doing to the community, not to the pizza place, but the actual community. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you do for the kids in the community.
So like not even that, as we go along, I'm gonna go back to what you just said right now. It's about the community. So if you go in my restaurant now, if you notice that big old picture on the wall, you're in the building that you're now from the 1800s. Yeah. Like, to where Robertson Boulevard, where Mr. Robertson was actually selling the acres. Yeah. You'll see the actual same building. That's one thing. So it's a historical building. I'll tell you that. Right. And then if you notice, I have a whole bunch of C's for Chowchilla.
Yes.
Yeah. And Corsaro's. Yeah. So either way you want to do it. It works. And then the funny thing about it was, when you talk about the community, so when we were moving from the old place, you know the big trophy room? Yeah. I took it out. They ridiculed me. Wow. But the funny thing about it is, I took all the trophy stuff out, but everybody thought I was getting rid of it. I actually cleaned it up and fixed it and restructured it and revamped it. And I made a whole trophy room in the back of all the different kids. But I put the newer ones, so now your kids who are actually playing sports can actually go see themselves in the wall. Wow. Where it's like, hey, I want you to go see my son. He's on the wall, sponsored by Corsaro from the soccer team. Yeah. So that's one way I did it. And then another thing is, too, is just doing certain things to where, I remember back in the days where you and I used to go to school. When we go to school, you get an honor roll award. You get a free pizza. Okay. So we do different partnerships like that. We'll send out 100 pizzas, free certificates to each kid who does really well. Or we just did, like I said, we did pizza day with the kids. Yes. Where we had 3 different classes who won perfect attendance. You know, perfect attendance nowadays in school is kind of one of the biggest challenges. Right. So they did a whole March Madness tournament with it. So I had 3 different classes come in 3 different days. And then they got to make a pizza with the hairnet. I remember, I don't know if you ever went to the chocolate factory. Yes. You get to walk back there, you get to see stuff. It wasn't nothing extravagant or crazy. Right. But it's like, oh, that's how the chocolate makes. That's how it drops. Yes. Like that. So you get to see those type of things. So I want to kind of create that experience to where they can remember that when they get older, how we did. Right. Right. So, and that was the whole concept. So I picked it. Wow. You know what's so crazy is that you're telling me about this whole Pizza March Madness. I remember my son coming home and they were talking about the perfect attendance in the March Madness.
So, I mean, I guess I didn't think that that it was you, but this is so cool that I'm, revealing now that this was your thing.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Yeah, I just seen a video about, the whole pizza, and you had the kids come in and make the pizza. And I think that that's part of endearing yourself to the community.
Yeah.
Right? This is how you're going to create longevity for the future, is because you're endearing yourself to the children of the community. And that is a great model for business.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to be successful because you are community oriented. And this is something that I've always tried to do myself, is to support the community.
Yeah.
They're going to support you if you support them, right? So it's something that's huge to me, is to support the community as well. Now, where are you from, man? Where are you originally from?
So I'm originally from Merced.
Okay.
From Merced, and then just kind of give you a backstory. I'm originally from Merced. I'm super blessed. I was I got my mom did not play. She was about school and things like that. I graduated 4.2 out of high school, things like that.
Wow.
I got invited to the White House 3 times.
Wow.
I was a foreign language award winner, so I speak Spanish and write it as well fluently.
Wow.
And then I went to play basketball at Columbia College, and then I went to the Bay Area.
Uh-huh.
And this were, as you guys know, in certain parts of California, it's expensive to live.
Yeah.
To sink or swim. So that's where kind of like really a lot of my entrepreneurship really started. I liked it when I was younger.
Uh-huh.
I used to sell all my clothes
Yeah.
to the kids down the street because for some reason they thought I had the cool clothes. That
Okay.
I used to just buy from the flea market,
Okay.
and then I resell it. So they would come to my room, have a little shop and everything. But when I went to the Bay Area, that's where kind of a lot of my entrepreneurship started.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So the Bay Area has always been a breeding ground for entrepreneurship. Like I remember when I was younger too, we would go to the Bay Area or go to LA, and it's just a whole different vibe. Like, everybody moves very, very different over there, right? It's just like you said, sink or swim mentality. I have to sell something in order to pay my bills, and you having that experience and bringing it back to Chowchilla, do you feel that this has helped you in your career as owning a business?
I'll tell you that now. Like I said, I had many good mentors that taught me, in business, you're dealing with people. It's the greatest thing, and it's also the most challenging thing. Let's just say that. Dealing with people, and that's one thing I had to learn, from driving my ego, from building something, messing it up because of your own self.
Right.
So I did a lot of self-reflection, a lot of trials and errors. But when I came back here, one thing I learned was the community. It's about a community. I learned the different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger cities, that corporate standard will work to a certain aspect.
Right.
But in community, if you don't know the community who you're serving, they'll run you right out.
Absolutely.
And that's one thing I had to really learn. So, like, I have relationships, and I learned to deal with new people and talk to them and see how I can help them some way.
Gotcha. And see, that's the wonderful thing about business, man. Like, you don't have to be just one way in the aspect of just doing corporate business. You can buy a business, you can start a business from scratch and continue to grow it out. What I see in your business, D, I truly feel that people come for the pizza, but people come for you, man. Like, you have that spirit, man.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. And you know what? I've seen it in my business too. Like, people come to meet with me, or they come to sit down with me and go over their finances. I always want to be that person that somebody can call. I never want to be unattainable or unreached. We talked a little bit about it.
Yeah. And then, like, you and I we developed a really relationship so far, and I see a lot with, and I'll tell you now, some of your guys come when you're not there.
Oh, wow.
And then the way kind of, and I like it because of the fact of just how they present themselves and what they do and how they do. And one of the guys, I can't remember the gentleman's name, really cool guy. I thought he actually owned his own business.
Okay.
But he had worked with you guys, which makes me know, like, you have a great reflection of leadership. I was like, man, that's actually pretty cool. He was taking another person out, training them, showing the business as well.
Wow, okay.
Helping them out. No, they're just following me, things like that. But he was super cool, really good gentleman.
Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? If you have your team around you, you can't be around all the time, but you have people in place. And we talked a little bit about this, for them to be a reflection of your business.
Yeah.
Have you seen that your team, basically takes your role in what you're trying to do in your business?
So it's funny you say that. So, people like to tell you where I learned that concept is I built up my first Amway business.
Okay.
And once you build their self-image up,
Mm-hmm.
is really what helped. So I had a guy now, he works for me now, I'm not gonna say his name. He's very particular.
Okay.
He's very blunt, very straight, but he doesn't mean it in a negative connotative way. And from looking at him now, you would never think that he actually runs the shop that I have now.
Okay.
and to what he's doing now, to where he's learning how to order. And then I have another person I brought from another place to where they actually learn how to run a business. But it's taking the time invested. And as soon as I learned, like, hey, one thing I've learned was once you make them do well and they look good,
Yeah.
your business looks good and you
That's
look
true.
great.
That's
Just like your
absolutely
kid, just like when you have kids.
Yes.
You want your kids are a reflection of yourself. And as young as I am, and some are older than me, I treat them like my kids. I love them.
Oh yeah, no, you have to. Everybody has the unique spirit about them. You take, the good and you massage, the rough edges and you create.
Yeah.
Like that's how I always viewed my business. Like, hey, I may have to create a person into being that professional, but they can get there. Because even me, D, like I did not start my career in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
Like I first had to learn and create and to sharpen my skills in order for me to help somebody else sharpen their skills.
Yeah.
So you're doing that as a mentor and as a leader in your business, you're giving back to them so they can sharpen their skills. And they may not be with you the rest of their career, but you help them and you see them grow.
And I'm learning that now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm learning that now. So just a quick question though, to go back to what you were telling me how Dennis, you used to work for Dennis. Where did this all come about to where you broke off from working from Dennis and now you run the business you have now?
You know what? I think that I was looking to grow. I worked at, Corsaro's Family Pizza, and I wanted to do something a little, different. And I had family that already was in real estate and lending. And it just, it just kind of happened that way that I went and visited an aunt of mine, and she's like, hey, you should do mortgages. And I broke off into doing that, and it worked out for me. But a lot of the experiences, as you grow, you learn from and you take with you. And I honestly tell you that right now, the stuff that Dennis taught me is still, I can use that for my business today.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the same for your guys as well. It's gonna be the same. But you know what, here's what I'm gonna tell you, D. I so appreciate you coming on the show, man. I think that it gives the viewers an aspect of that you can own an existing business and grow it out to higher levels than it was. And I can tell you right now, if Dennis were here, he would be very, very proud of what you've done, So thank you so much, D, for coming on, brother. Thank you.